The next color parameter that we are going to consider is the HSL color values. HSL stands for hue, saturation, and lightness. And for us to really understand this, let us consider the color hue. So this color hue is used to select the hue of the color. So this hue consists of 0 up to 360 degrees, with 0 or 360 being red, and then we move towards the right side, we move clockwise, and 120 is for green, so the middle of green, and then from 120 up to 240 would be for blue, and then from 240 back to red here. So this is how we select the hue. The next value or the next parameter is going to be saturation, and that tells us how deep the color we have selected in the hue should be, with 100% being the full color and 0% being gray, and so the color is rendered as a shade of gray. The next parameter is the lightness, and this shows how much light should be given to the color. The ideal value or the normal value for the lightness is 50, and if you push it to 100, you are going to get a very white color, and then if you push the lightness to black, or if you push it to 0, you are going to get a very dark or black color. So 50% tells us the amount of lightness we can add or subtract from our color. So let us go and play with HSL values in our Visual Studio Code. Here is our Visual Studio Code, and we are going to play with our HSL color values. Let us change this. It's looking so awkward. So the paragraph, let us give this paragraph a color HSL. With a hue, we can select a hue of 360, which is red, just as we know already. 0, 0, let's give it 0, 0 and see what is going to happen. So this is, we are giving it a saturation of 0, hue 0. Let's now change it into 100%. And then, so that is supposed to be black. And then let's change this one also into 50% and see what is going to happen. So that has made our text red with the hue of 360. Let's change this one into 120 and see what is happening. That is green. And then let's change it into 240 as well. Okay, so now that we know how the hue works, let us go to the saturation. So this is 100% saturated. Let's go to 50%. So our color is 50% saturated now. So it means that we have darkened the color a little, or we have added some amount of gray to the color. Let's give it a saturation of 0, and that changes it into pure gray, or a bluish gray color, or a blue in the shade of gray. And then let us come back to this saturation. Now let's play with the lightness. Let's increase our lightness from 50 to, let's say, 90. Let's go gradually. And so we can see that this is a blue, but it looks like white because we have increased the lightness. We've given it more light to make it look like white. Let's increase it into 100 and see what is going to happen. So this is now looking just like white. So this is still blue, but this is whitish blue. Very, very, very white. And then let's reduce it to 0. And you can see that we are back to black. This is still blue, but we have removed all the lightness within this color. And so this is what we are rounding up at. I believe that as you go on in the course, you would stick more to the HSL than the other color parameters we've spoken about. Though beginners usually would want to either go with color names or the hex code, you would know why HSL is usually more preferred, especially when you want to style buttons that when you hover over, you would change the color intensity. You would rather go for the HSL compared to the others because you can do a little bit of calculations with the HSL compared to the other color parameters. Just as you already know, we can also add an A parameter here to give us the alpha channel. So let us now move to 50%. And then with the alpha 0.4, so that is going to change the transparency just as you have seen in the other color value. So that is it for HSL and HSLA color values. I hope you enjoyed the lesson so much. I'll see you in the next one.